guys, welcome to the Hollywood Dreams podcast. This is your host, Santi Trix, along with my fellow host, David. Hey, Dave, how are you?
I'm good, Santi. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
Good to be
Glad to be
back. We were on
back
a little bit of a
recording.
hiatus there for a while.
Yeah. I got a daughter, a newborn daughter, so
It's
we've had
beautiful,
to
by the
like
way.
forcibly step away for a few weeks. But I'm glad to be back, man, and I'm really excited for today's episode. We got a great cast on here today. We got the guys from New Haven. Hey, guys.
Hey, how's
How
it
you
going?
doing?
What's up, Santi? David.
And
It's
congratulations on the daughter.
Thank you very much,
Yes.
and yeah, I mean, thank you guys for being here. It's great to have you here. Um, I've been enjoying your music lately. I got my New Haven CD on Friday, so I've been listening to this a lot, and I really like it. It's
Nice.
fantastic. I mean, I'm sure we're gonna talk about it in extent, but yeah, I mean, I've been on a New Haven kick lately, so it's great. It's great to have you here.
Well, it's good to
Thanks
be
for
here.
having me.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And this is the first time all of us have been together on a podcast since we launched the record. So it's been a long time since we've seen each
All
other
right.
too. Yeah.
Yes,
Nice.
Oh,
very
yeah.
first time.
I want to give all you guys a big hug.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. It's good. It's good to meet. So are you guys like far away from each other? Or... Okay.
Literally, yes.
Yeah, we're literally on all the corners of the United States. I'm up in Washington. Kirk is down in Florida. Todd,
Oh,
where are you at again? You're always
Cleveland
moving.
right now.
He's somewhere. Yeah.
Cleveland. And then
Right.
I'm in
For me,
Virginia.
though. He's coming
And he's
for
in
me.
Virginia.
okay.
So we are spread out.
yeah.
All right. But you guys are all originally from Ohio, or how's that?
I
No,
beg your
we actually-
pardon. What was that?
No,
Are you guys
Todd's
all
from
from?
Ohio.
Yeah, I'm the only one from Ohio.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah, I met
Perfect.
all these guys in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Nice. All right. So, okay. So, I mean, it's been almost a year, right, since the
Yeah,
record?
about a year coming up next month at the end of May, June, about a year. Yep.
Nice. So, are you guys? How did you feel about the reception of the record? Did you guys expect it the record to do so well, or what was your thoughts around that?
I was
well,
completely
it's hard to say.
surprised.
I know the music. The music was really good. Is really good, and we had a great following back in the day. It's just been so many years since we've done
Yeah.
that. We,
Hey,
we're
Kirk?
Yes.
Hey, can you lean forward into your mic, maybe?
Can you hear me better now?
It's a little
Yeah,
bit
there
better.
it is.
Yeah, sorry. But yeah, get organized. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
This is technology.
Kirk's right though. They were good songs. It's hard to see how something like that would be doing so well 30 years later. But everything goes in a circle. Things become popular that weren't popular for a long time, and
Mhm.
and it's good to see that people are into it. Especially our friends, and they introduce it to their kids and their friends, and it's great.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah, and having all of the new people that are coming on board from all around, it's really a surprise and it's really awesome. Just love seeing it.
Kirk, did you
Yeah.
want to do your thought again, please?
Well, can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So we knew the songs were good way back when, and to hear them coming out again is just awesome to hear. And it's nice to have people that are like you, Santi, who are younger and weren't even there when we were there, and appreciating that music from when you were like, I don't know, if you're 30 now, when you were like 0 when we came up with the songs. So it's awesome that these songs are. That tells me that they're kind of almost, I don't want to say timeless, but kind of timeless, because good
Mhm.
songs are good songs, even if they're
Yep.
100 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Oh, totally. Yeah. And actually, I was talking to Dave yesterday about that very same thing. I mean, I was listening to the song "Draw the Line," and I told him that song is definitely timeless. I mean, if it was released like yesterday, I
Yeah.
wouldn't suspect a thing. I mean, it sounds as fresh and modern as when it was released. Definitely.
Great.
That's one of my favorite songs
Mm-hmm.
that Mike wrote.
A fun one to play too.
It definitely has some fans around here too. I will say it's
But
one of
yeah.
our hardest songs as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I agree. I agree. Because when we got the soundtrack for Bikini Car Wash Company, that was one of the songs that stood out to people, that were fans of the TNA stuff when we got our stuff on that movie. And then they used it again in a movie with Billy Blanks called Showdown. And that's
Mhm.
all I've read online for years and years and years. Draw the Line, great workout song, great thing to get you pumped up and stuff like
Mhm.
that. So hats off to the boys. I mean, that was a song that helped get us on the map for sure. That and
Mike
Part
and
of
I-
Me.
Mike
Steve
Drake and I,
shredding guitar solo.
Mike and I got together a lot of times and jammed, drinking beers after work and stuff in Hollywood. And he brought that song over because we'd always play songs together. I'd bring songs, he'd bring songs. It was collaboration. And when we thought we had something good enough to present to the band, we would bring it in, but we had to have it kind of complete to try to get organized. And that was a great song I knew right from the get-go. And he would always write like a chorus and like like the first verse, and then we would have to collaborate together. We would sit and hack it out over beers and other stuff as we were just jamming. And
Weed.
sometimes we came up with the song very quickly, and that was
Mhm.
one of them that came together quick.
Yeah,
Nice.
and Kirk always had a great ear for poetry, stringing
Oh,
words
yes.
together. We'd come up with something, a musical riff. Steve would kind of like, hey, do this guitar with it, and yeah, it'd be great. And then Kirk kind of vamp around on something. But yeah, Kirk and I did a lot of collaboration together.
Mhm.
That Draw the Line is the best, one of the best riffs. And Mike and I didn't come up with that at all. That was all you, man. That was a super awesome riff. Still is to this day. I still get chills when I listen to that.
Thank
song.
you.
Yeah, it's a fantastic song. All the songs on the album are good. I think it has your songs have a great sense of melody as well. Because sometimes with bands, I mean, a band would have like a great look, great hair, great image, but the songs are all basic, right?
Mhm.
But that's not the case with you guys. I mean, you definitely had the looks, of course, but also you had your substance to back it up.
Right.
Yeah,
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 one of my favorites on the record is Blind Truth. I love that song.
I like that song too.
Yeah, that's
I
one
like
that just stood out to me, and I was just like, man, this is great.
Yeah, I like the
And-
message.
Yeah, and that's a song that basically introduced me to New Haven was Blind Truth, and I thought, wow, it's a very complex song with a complex message as well. And
Yeah.
and,
Right.
and the talent that was present before we even became a part of the band is kind of what drew me to it, and it was great. I loved it myself.
When I first joined the band, I rode my skateboard with a bass with no case to play bass, and I think we played Blind Truth over and over again with Todd and the
Daryl.
other guitar player, Daryl. And Blind Truth, I didn't have a case for my bass. I had a little skateboard. I used to take the bus and then jump on it and skateboard down to Lillian Way, running
Yes.
running down the streets on a skateboard. I can't believe I lived to tell the tale, but I was zipping through the intersections and the busiest streets in Hollywood. And Blind Truth, and I played bass and sang over it, but it was just like the beginning.
nice,
Yeah.
awesome.
I love that song, man.
Yeah.
No, it's a
Me
great
too.
song. Yeah,
Me
it is.
too.
It is a great song. Um, so what do you guys remember? Which song was the first one you wrote as a unit?
Wow.
Good question.
I think the one that kind of put us on the map was, I hate to interject, but I think that there's all the songs from the original Haven that Todd was in that brought, but I think the one that kind of made everybody realize that we kind of had a real band that and a chance is I have to say Rocking Chair was
Mm-hmm.
our original
Yes.
one, because that's the one that like was that hooked everybody right away. I remember writing that song. I brought that when I auditioned for the band Haven,
Hmm.
and everybody was liked it. And I was just writing it in Hollywood in my crappy little apartment, and I think I was 20, and we were all living on ramen noodles and macaroni and cheese. But anyway, so I came up with this riff and this song. It seemed to work, and they liked it. Everybody else I played it for liked it, and then we kind of worked it out with the band. That's it.
That's
Yeah, I
nice.
agree. It was definitely probably the first one. It had great melody.
And
Yeah.
that's one of the songs that kind of stuck with us the whole time too. You know,
Yes.
it's definitely you come across a lot of songs you throw away, sort of in a way, and then you listen to them years later and go, man, why'd we ever throw that song away? But
Right. We
Rocking
play
never
Chair
that
just
did.
stuck
every show.
Yeah.
forever. You know, it's
Right.
Mhm.
What was
Yeah,
that
this
the
is
song that the crowds most responded to the most?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah,
Okay.
because it was
The
super
opening too.
recognizable. The
It's a
opening chords
perfect.
and the chorus and everything. Everybody knew what it was, and that was kind of our. I think I would have to say that was our signature song. Kind of. That's what. If anybody
yeah.
remembers New Haven back in Hollywood, and they say what is their best song, they would probably say Rocking Chair. But I mean, Draw the Line's awesome, and Part of Me, and all those songs are good too. But that's
Mm-hmm.
probably our best, biggest song. I would say.
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
And it got the attention of the fans and the industry as well. You know, they recognize
Right.
that song as part of our signature sound, and you know the harmonies and everything going into it. You know, and just the arrangement. That was part of it right there.
Hmm.
Nice. Yeah. So when you guys got interest from Atlantic, was that the did you guys record it like that song along with others for a demo for them, or how that work?
Basically, what happened was finally, after Tim and Robbie departed the band, and then we had Glenn and Steve.
Mm-hmm.
That's when finally, after all those years and all the shows, we got interest from Atlantic Records, serious interest, where they gave us a development deal and said, we'll put you guys in the studio. And, because they saw Rocking Chair, they saw all the versions of New Haven. Okay. All the labels did. Unfortunately, we didn't break through until 1989 with the lineup of Steve and Glenn. It's just a fact. So when we were deciding, okay, where Kirk mentioned our rehearsal place on Lillian Way, it was run by a guy named Dean Chamberlain, who was in the motels. And
Okay.
I mean, Guns N' Roses rehearsed there, Jane's Addiction rehearsed there, all kinds of. It was a boutique type rehearsal place. So when we sat down to decide, okay, we got the money to do a demo, we would always hear Dean doing his stuff in the studio, and it sounded great. So, and he knew the band, he knew us well. He would let us come and go as we please, off hours to rehearse and do whatever. So when we picked him, we knew we were going to have a clean sound and just and a really good production. He would add so much to the rawness of what those songs were. So we did Rocking Chair, Part of Me, and Draw the Line first, and loved it. Atlantic loved it, and we kept getting through the hurdles of when they had committees. Okay, which band do we want to keep moving forward? Which band do we want? Which band's going to get voted off the island? And then they right. I mean, that's essentially what happened. But I know that when we were recording that, it was like a proud moment for me. And I know for Steve and Kirk and Mike
Yeah.
and Glenn, that we did it. We finally did it after all that hard work, all the shows. It was finally our time. We had our shot. And we made the most of it for sure.
Right. Something tangible rather than just the playing and the partying and all that fun, which is, hey, fun, but you know, we had something that we could say, hey, we did this.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh yeah. Yeah. So what ended up happening with that with the deal?
So basically, in a nutshell, if you guys don't mind, I mean,
Yeah,
you
go
guys
ahead.
can speak or whatever, but I just, I just remember, our beloved manager, Jennifer Monroe,
Yeah.
working with Atlantic and, you know, just they basically what happened was we made it to the top of the West Coast committee. Okay.
Mhm.
We were their band that they wanted to sign. There was obviously New York Atlantic. That's where they're based. So
They
basically we got
dominated.
the committee and it was at that time period, they were only going to sign one band. So it was between us with the West Coast behind us. And it was, I don't even know who the band was on the East Coast, to be honest with you, that got the deal, but New York won out. Their band got signed and we didn't. And then Atlantic, let us use the demos. They're like, you're free to shop it now. We're sorry. We wanted to sign you guys. It was right. It was the perfect time for us too. You know what I mean? For 89, 90. And it's the record business,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, we were running out of time at that point, but we still had, some legs under us, but that's basically what happened. And we got close with some other labels, but by that time we're getting closer to 91. And that's
Mhm.
when,
The
grunge started
deadline.
coming
Yeah.
in. Yeah.
The
Yeah.
winds of change, man. The winds of
Definitely.
change.
The winds
The
of
winds.
change.
Did you guys feel that coming? Like, was that something that you all kind of saw on the horizon going, oh no?
Yes.
Kind of. It's like less and less people were going to shows. I mean, the whole Sunset Strip changed at that time too, and,
Mhm.
and I think it's a lot to do with there was just so much talent out there, great talent, some not so great talent as well, but it was so saturated, with great talent, and they'd been doing it for the last decade, since the early '80s, late '70s, early '80s, and so it, it was probably time for a change, as much as anything else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Now, how do you feel about bands that you saw change, like completely changing their sound, changing their image to fit into that mold? Like Alice in Chains, they were all,
Yeah.
prior to that, they were all glammed out, and uh, a bunch of bands, from that time too. That just and then what about bands from the bands that you guys were kind of linked with
Yeah.
when they started changing their sound and doing everything? How did you guys feel about that? Did you guys ever feel like you would want to go in that direction?
Personally, I didn't really feel a push to change myself. Maybe less of the glam thing per se, but it's just, I didn't want to really change our sound. It's hard to change your sound. You write what you write. You like what you
Mhm.
like.
Right.
So you're going to continue doing that. How you look is sort of an arbitrary thing. Uh,
Right.
there were most of the other bands that were doing the same kind of thing we were. They didn't really change their sound at all. They may have changed the look, less spandex, less leather, but a lot of the newer sound, it was coming up from people that were younger than us. And yeah, we weren't old at that time either, but we weren't new either at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
What'd you see, Kirk?
Well, I think that I always wrote, so bands would change a little bit, but I mean, after New Haven kind of broke up, after Nirvana came, that grunge rock kind of broke everything up. I was very impressed with some of the newer sounds, but I wanted to stay true to my roots. So Mike and I had a band together for years after, called Liquid Vision, and we kept writing songs, but they were, I don't know if they were ever of the caliber of the original New Haven songs. I don't know. That's my point being that I wrote songs from my heart, and the songs like from I gotta bring it up, Boston. Those songs are great for forever, and like the great songs are good songs.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Petty, Boston. All those songs that and then you think about those other bands like Rat, and all those other bands that come up around. You know, those songs are good, but everybody who comes up with new songs and tries to change, it's always the best songs from the original time. Like, for example, I hate to use this example, but like Def Leppard, High and Dry. There's never been a better. They've never done a better album. That's their
Mm-hmm.
best album.
I agree.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
You know, Bosley,
Agreed.
their original album is the best album. You know, New Haven, their first album, their best album. It usually works out that way. I don't know why, but every time somebody tries to make changes, they always mess it up.
Right.
Or you know, you try to make changes and write. You can't play to the masses. You got to play for yourself, and you got to write songs that are good. And I
Right.
think the
I
ones
don't
that
think any of us really wanted to be trend followers. We,
right,
we did what we did, and if people liked it, that's,
right,
hey, that's what we were looking for. If you want to follow our trend, cool.
right.
You know,
Yeah, and we all had 9 to 5s, and we all struggled to pay rent, you know, and we all just wanted to make it. And then we started losing our grip on it. I felt like I was in like the 90s, and like I was like, oh my gosh, now grunge is here. I got to keep writing songs, and then you know, it's a frustrating business for sure. The record industry for sure. But
Yeah.
you know, we had a chance and we took a shot. When people ask me about it, I'm like, yes, I was there along with 10,000 other bands. We were close. We were closer than most.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
we just,
and
you
don't
know,
regret
we
it
had a
for a
good
minute.
time. We had a great time
And
doing it.
you have a lot to be proud of right here.
It's, you know,
Right.
Lots
Thank
of-
you.
Yeah,
very much. And some of my
definitely.
friends did not live through it. You know, there was a rough time. It was partied our asses off in Hollywood. I kind of wish that I'd spent more time focused on the music industry and a little less on partying. But I did both. But you know, I lived. I'm I'm healthy. I'm still here. And you know, I know I got some other people that aren't. But you know,
Right.
whatever. And I learned so much. I would never trade any of that for anything in the world.
It was a great
Definitely.
experience.
Yeah. So, yeah, and going back to your point about bands changing the sound, there's some bands that did like a natural progression. I would say, for example, Warren changed when they released Dog Eat Dog. A lot of people would say their best album. Uh, it's heavier than the prior stuff, but it's also in a natural way. It doesn't sound forced. Like it's not like,
Mhm.
hey,
Eh,
what are they trying to do? And but with other bands, I won't name names, but other bands, it feels forced, right? Like they try to adjust,
It's like they
Right.
ran out of ideas and now they're just trying to
right? See
Fit
what
in.
sticks. Throw everything at the wall, see what sticks. Yeah, but yeah,
Yeah, see,
yeah, again,
I have a lot more respect for the bands that kind of went the path that they were on and stayed that path.
right.
Mhm.
And it's kind of paying off now for a lot of the bands. Bands like Extreme,
Yeah.
bands
Mhm.
like LA Guns are still kind of doing their
It
thing.
amazes me that some of those bands are still doing it. Like I
Yeah,
see
that,
Mhm.
pictures from like
Yeah.
Jerry Gettleson's page of the LA, and some of those guys are still there doing the same thing. And I don't know if they're making a living at it, but they look the same kind of, but they're obviously 35 years older. But they're still doing that same thing. It's like this. It never really ended. It just kind of petered out. And now it's kind of just still there.
Yeah.
I,
I mean, if I went into the whiskey and saw a rock band, I could still go see. You know, I'd be like, it's been 35 years and people are still doing this. It's amazing. I would love to go into whiskey and do that, which I will someday, but whatever.
Steve,
oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, we were pretty used to swimming upstream as far as what was happening on the Sunset Strip at that time because of all the glam stuff that was happening. We were writing really meaningful songs, and just had a different style, and we were like always like kind of going against the grain, which was kind of
Mhm.
nice, and we stuck to our guns with that.
Mhm. Nice.
Yep.
So, do you guys remember the point where you went? I gotta go to LA and try to make it there.
yeah, a year after I graduated high school, I said I got to do something with myself.
something will go around the horn. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'll talk about those.
Close.
Yeah,
Uh,
I was. Go ahead, Kirk.
Well, I dropped out of college and was playing with some older guys, and I hitched a ride with some guy and drove from North Carolina out to Hollywood with like $100 in his pocket.
Hmm.
And I worked someplace and I met up with Todd Lane. And that's when I said, I got these songs. He goes, well, we need a singer. I said, do you like this song? It's called Rocking Chair. He goes, you're in. We got a place to rehearse. I'm like, okay, great. That was it.
Yeah, yeah. I was living in the Bay Area, and I just went down to LA one day with some friends, and I was blown away by the scene down there. And we went to the Rainbow Bar and Grill, and I met a girl named Liesel there, and we stayed in contact with each other, and she ended up finding me a job down there, a place to live, because she wanted me to come down. And
Sounds like the start of the song.
yeah, yeah. And then I moved down to Reseda, which is right down the road from the country club. And that's right when I met Todd Lane. Todd, you want to tell him how you have a better memory about this?
Oy, do I have to? Can't we
You
go
have to.
around the horn? Let all you guys tell your stories about how you guys
Do it
got to
quickly.
LA. If you
They already did.
Quick story.
Oh, they did. I mean, we met at the country club, probably at a Warrant show or
I think it was.
one of those shows. And I knew that you were a guitar player and you were a friend,
Mhm.
before you got in the band. And God, I mean, I think you were in the band. Well, anyways,
Okay,
that's
I
how
can tell
that
it.
happened. When Tim left to join Slaughter, I think Mike Kirk, correct me if I'm wrong. I think we did audition a few people, but I think, Steve was the guy. And I remember because Tim Kelly knew Steve and he was
Yes.
like, that's the guy. That's in his opinion, he was like, that's the guy. Because, we played with some cool people that auditioned, but we didn't audition a lot because we had to keep it going because we had shows booked and stuff like that. And Steve was, he knew he'd come see us play. So he knew the
Mhm.
shit. So,
Yeah, he came right in.
Yeah,
He came
I
right
don't
in.
recall many others being auditioned. It was
right.
Steve, and I remember Tim saying, "Yeah, I know Steve. He's like you said, he's
Yeah.
the guy."
That's the
And
guy. Right.
and it was an easy fit. He was into the scene, into kind of what we were doing,
Yes.
and
And I
Yep.
remember we were having a barbecue at the New Haven pad, which was in what, North Hollywood
Yep.
or
Oh, yeah.
Studio City.
Moore Park
And
Street,
Moore Park.
11220. Yep.
right. And so
Yep.
I went up to the apartment and Tim Kelly was listening to demos. Mark Slaughter was up there and Dana Strum were up there and they were
Yep.
playing him demos. And I thought to
Hmm.
myself, I'm going to be the next guitar player in New Haven because
Wow.
I knew why they were there,
Yeah.
and sure enough, it happened.
Unlike
Right.
your audition, Mike, remember when I saw you, I said, so are you in a band? You go, yeah, this one.
Mason? Because
I said, you cocky son of a bee.
right. Hey, because Kirk and I met each other first at the glorious, famous
Yeah, NRG.
NRG, right? And that I think that's where we met. Mike, you were working at a pizza place right
I was
around
working at the Wizard of Pizza next to Betsy's Tanning Salon.
right,
Yeah.
but there was that pizza place on Hollywood Boulevard when we'd go on lunch breaks at NRG. That's where I
Yeah,
think I
right
met
down
you,
the
not next
No,
not next to Betsy's. It was
No, you met me next to Betsy's. You were
Really?
going in and out of Betsy's all the
Yeah, I
time,
was
man.
candy, right. So I
Yep,
mean,
and
I
Mickey.
just
Yep.
right. I remember when I met Kirk and we started talking, he was a singer. He was from North Carolina or Florida. Was it Kirk? Was it which one?
Well, I moved to North Carolina following some girl, and I dropped out of college and moved to Hollywood.
Right. And I remember that girl's name too. And I just remember we started talking and I went over to his house, to like hang out and drink beers. And he was in a band called EKG. And I was just blown away when I heard I'm in Love and Walk Away. That was it for me. I was like, this is the guy right here.
Mhm.
This is the guy. And I
Yep.
said, let's go in. We're going to re-record these songs. We'll do 2 of yours. We'll do a couple from Haven, if you don't mind. He's like, no problem. And him and Daryl, um,
Yeah. We got
Kirk
it
played
off.
bass on some of the stuff. He played guitar, but he just blew me away. And Daryl was like, that's the guy. Dan Zeisen was like, that's the guy.
Daryl and I hit it off right away for sure. Yeah, and I love Mark Danzeisen for sure too. We hit it off right away, and they liked the songs, which encouraged me to keep going.
Yes.
That was in Silver Lake. Silver Lake.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Silver
And we
Lake
did it
Band.
on off times. And, you know,
Like in the
we,
middle of the night.
right.
We rehearsed.
And
Remember
we
we
just,
were rehearsing? I'd be asleep going to rehearsal. Totally
right.
asleep.
And we just needed the 4 songs, Santee, so we could put the band together. You know what I mean?
Right.
We, and then Mike, Mike was a keyboard player, and then Kirk and I always wanted keyboards because after Haven, I wanted to try something different. I wanted a voice. I wanted a songwriter. And, our manager, Jennifer, wanted the same thing. And she immediately fell in love with Mike and Kirk. And then I reached out to Danny Kane, who was a buddy from Cleveland, and he knew Ross Manzo. And then they got their butts out to California, and we started New Haven. And we love those guys that, they're a part of this history with us. Um, you know, and I got a picture of Danny right here. Hey, hey, Danny, what's up, buddy? There you are.
Okay.
Right, cheeseburger. So,
And
anyways,
Danny went on to do his own thing too, really good after the band,
yeah,
with Legs
him
Up,
and
and
Ross, sure.
Ross went on to do a lot of things. He owns his own bar now, and
Yeah, he's
out,
driving like sports cars. He's got like a parking lot full of fucking
then he got
sports
like a
cars.
new one every week.
I have a funny link to Ross. Actually, his brother is engaged to my aunt.
Boy.
So
Boy,
I'm part of the Manzo family.
to your aunt, you're making us feel old.
I'm right there with you guys. I'm not far behind you guys. I'm not 30 like this youngin' over here.
Yeah.
So, Santi, go ahead. I mean, do you guys want to add anything, or to the New Haven story, or?
Well,
Kirk?
a little bit more about Kirk's story going down there to, when I said I'm in this band, I didn't realize it was a audition per se. Todd was looking for a keyboard player. There wasn't a whole lot of keyboard players around in Hollywood at the time. So I thought I had at least a good run at it. And that very same rehearsal, I was loaded up with Todd. Wasn't Danny with us that
Probably.
day? And we were in my little Ford Escort
Right.
that had already been rear-ended once when I got to LA, on our way down God, was that Highland?
Island.
Yeah,
Highland.
it's got to be Highland Avenue. On our way down there, Kirk was on his skateboard with his with his stuff on his back, and he was on his skateboard, and I made a turn, and we almost ran over the guy. I hadn't even met him yet.
Hey, Mike,
Nice.
you should tell Santee who your roommate was when you first moved out from East Randolph, New York to LA.
Yes, that was another part of my connection to the area. There was Mick Sueda, the great Mick Sueda of King Cobra, Bullet Boys.
Oh,
He
wow.
was from my hometown originally. He graduated from the same high school as I did, and he kind of knew some people, and he'd come back once in a while to visit. And I didn't really know who he was at the time. He's probably 10 years older than me, but I got to
Right.
meet him through a friend of mine, and kind of asked him, hey, if I were to move out there, could I crash at your place for a while? And he did. He allowed me to do that, and I'll always be grateful for that. I got to sleep on his floor, and until I had met Todd,
Yeah.
I was pretty close to giving it up. And I met Todd, and it was like, good. I've got something going now.
Good.
But yeah,
Well, we're
that's
glad
my
you
little
didn't give it up.
connection there.
So-
Was it scary to move to a whole new town all across the USA without knowing if it's gonna work out?
Absolutely scary, and me, I was 19 years old, and I just put everything in my car and headed out west to be a rock star, and not knowing where I was going, what I was doing, but not really caring at the time either.
Right.
I was pretty confident in myself. In hindsight, would I have done things differently? Perhaps, but I wouldn't trade it for $1 million at
No,
this
right.
point.
No, me neither. when you're 18, when I moved out there, you know, you don't care. You live in a closet, you don't care. You go,
Right.
you eat top ramen, you don't care. You just like do
Right.
whatever. It's like it's not something you would do when you're 30 with a a new child or anything. You would never do that. But when you have nothing to lose and you're single and you know whatever, you're 18, 19 years old,
Right.
and plus you have tons of ambition, and you just want to see the world. And we all wanted to. I personally wanted to form a rock band, and that's all I wanted to
Right.
do at the time. You know.
Hmm.
And you won't know unless you try.
Right. Do you guys remember the flyering?
Oh yeah.
Like, remember we were I
I
remember
think
when
I
I
still have
first
a
got
scar on my thumb, Steve.
right. So
Non-stop flying machines.
Staple
we
gun.
were flyering machines. So I remember when I first got in the band, the guys were like, we were at the New Haven pad, and they're getting these 5-gallon buckets,
Yeah.
and they're filling them with this water glue solution.
Oh yeah.
And you remember that, Todd?
Right.
And
Oh, yeah.
we went down Highland Boulevard past the
Dirk.
Hollywood Bowl, down the Hollywood Bowl, like in the middle of the night. And we were so proficient at this thing. It's like the flyers are just going up, boom, all the way up and down the poles, all the way down the street, go down Hollywood Boulevard, whatever. And we were like, and everyone started following suit and trying to cover us up, which they never could because we'd go right back out and cover them up. So it kind of got, remember that? So it kind of got
Yes.
into this little battle thing,
I
and
love
it
the
got so
fire
bad. We were like pretty much close to a house band at the Whiskey A Go Go at the time. We were playing there all the time, and
Whiskey.
they
Yeah.
had to actually ban us because the city of Hollywood couldn't figure out how to
Right.
stop us. So they went to the clubs that we were playing at.
Right.
Remember that?
Yep.
And so we were banned. We had to get banned from the whiskey for like a year or something like
That,
that.
and I'm sure Gina from the Troubadour paid at least one of our fines, at least.
Yeah.
At least.
Oh, yeah. Well,
did.
that's
Yeah,
what we did when we put our phone number on the damn flyer. You know, give us a call anytime. Oh, you're the guys.
yeah, yeah. It was fun.
You guys worked hard, man. I mean, Kirk, and I'll say this again, but Kirk, God bless him, man. He would get a backpack.
Laurel Canyon's long.
Right, and he would
Yep.
we
Yep.
were at that point we were savvy, so we do each letter. We do NEWHAVEN, big big letters. That we would do that
Yep.
for Highland, but on Laurel Canyon, we got a little more savvy, and we'd have the printers do like New Haven. There could be only New Haven. We'd have a bunch just on one thing, and Kirk he'd strap up, man, get a backpack, some beers, some sunflower seeds or whatever the Q8, man. And he'd walk up and back Laurel Canyon, man, in the hot sun, and
Oh,
just,
wow.
just nail it. I mean, I remember I could be in a bar like the Frolic Room or some other place where, where it's just trying to just decompress. And, people would ask you, hey, what do you do? I'm a drummer in a band. What band? New Haven. You're in that band that I see all the. Yes. Yes.
And even Geraldo did a quick
Yes.
little thing.
That's
he
right.
Called us the lamppost people. Remember?
That's right. I have. Right. That's right. Good ones.
Yeah.
So would the cops try to stop you if they were to see you like statement?
No, they never did. I never had a
Nope.
problem with the police at all.
Oh, okay.
Not while we were doing it.
Yeah, it was kind of part of the culture back
Right.
then.
Right. Yeah. Nice.
Real-
Do you guys remember your first show?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, just for the because I know we're releasing all the flyers on New Haven Rock Band Facebook page in sequence as best as I can. But our first show was at the Waters Club in October of '87. And
Mhm.
then we played in New Mexico at a college. We opened up for a comedian, actually, the guy that was on Fridays. Yeah. And then our first Hollywood show was the Troubadour on a Wednesday at like 8 o'clock or 8:30. There were tables on the floor. It was during a weeknight, and people are sitting down, like eating and shit. And I found hey guys, I have the video. I found it. I have it. And we had like, we had like See You Through, On and On, Kirk. Obviously Sweet Surrender, Mike. Yeah. It's
Nice.
everything's
I
being
remember that.
digitized right now.
Oh,
But
that's great.
you know what's good about that is that we rehearsed so much. I remember rehearsing 3 times a week for 3 hours a night, and we were so rehearsed that we really had those songs so polished that we really did well. I mean, what I didn't have was stage experience. So what I would do is I would go out and just kill it on the first 2 songs and be kind of exhausted after that. But we every song we played, and when I hear those songs back, it's like wow, those every vocal's on, everything's right on. We didn't mess up at all on any of the songs. Just everything's super tight because we rehearsed so much. It's like we
Right.
didn't just rehearse twice and go out. We rehearsed these songs like 50 times before we played them. So we
Oh,
Yeah,
knew
I
we
them
got
remember.
prepared.
backwards and forwards for sure.
Yeah,
And
my
we always
first
carried that
oh,
on throughout the whole New Haven thing. We were always super prepared.
right.
Go ahead, Steve.
Oh, I was going to say my first time playing with them was at Gazzari's, and it wasn't the full show. It was like their jam,
Yeah.
and I remember that was. And I think I told you this, Todd, but I had never been on stage before.
No, you didn't tell me that.
So I faked it until I made it.
Well,
So
you did a hell of a job, kid.
yeah. So Gazzari's with these guys was my first show ever on stage playing,
Oh wow.
and I got up there and I just rocked it out, and
Because you were
they
so
never
well
knew.
rehearsed. Yep.
Yeah, they never knew that
Dude, you
that
were
was my
great,
first
man.
show. I think I told you like 5 years later or something like that.
Right.
W-
I mean,
were you
all
like
of us, right.
were you like tens at that Steve?
Uh, no, because like Kirk says, we were so rehearsed, and
Okay.
I was still new to the band, but it was really easy because I knew the style, and it made it very easy for me to play,
Right.
and so I got up there and and it ended up doing really well, and then you know, then we just went on from there.
Oh, that's yeah. I mean, and you had some fantastic hair, I must say.
Did you like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Kind of
so,
an emo thing going there.
yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting picture.
Hey,
I had the whole
Look at this.
going down.
hey,
Buddy Steve.
if you look at that New Haven jacket that I'm wearing, Kirk sewed that. He sewed those letters on
Okay.
that sleeve. Kirk.
Nice.
What was that? A jean jacket?
It was like a not like a dinner jacket, but it was
No,
something
I
like that. It
remember.
was
I did
short,
that.
but yeah,
Okay.
I remember he was Kirk. We were in the room, and I'm not going to incriminate us, but man, I see him there with a needle and thread, and it
I
was
didn't have any money
perfect.
to do it for me. I had to do it myself.
Right?
I still have all of our jackets.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yep, I still have all of our stage outfits. I've got all our magazines we were in. I have it in a box.
Oh, wow.
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 Yeah, so
Nice.
Man, how do I get one of those jackets so I can hang it up on my wall of
The wall of glory.
fame here?
I mean,
Right,
yeah, Kirk
right.
sewed that.
Where's the bidding start, Steve?
yeah, every single one of those.
Well,
Except for
I mean, you
Todd.
can get Dave. You can get a T Lane official T-shirt like the one Todd is wearing.
Dude,
Yeah.
this guy won't even give me a picture of himself.
I don't have any, dude. Those days are over.
He doesn't have any. He has a whole box here.
Oh, I
I
found
to get one. He
Oh.
goes, here, take this one. He gives me a picture of Janie Lane. Here.
That's
I can't even
funny.
get a Todd Lane picture.
Gosh.
I got
Can
some.
we- Go ahead.
Awesome.
I was gonna say you want Todd Lane picture. I got some.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Oh geez.
let's pull those out. I
Right.
want to see those.
Right.
We'll do a whole other episode just on Todd Lane pictures alone.
No.
Yeah, I got a box full of pictures, man.
I mean, I just have the fondest memories with these guys, all of them, from day
Yes.
one, till the end. I mean, I was lucky to meet these guys and they were so talented as hell. And, they rolled up their sleeves with me. And I was like, trust me, I'll trust you. We'll give it a shot. And I was just looking back. I mean, it's just incredible that we lived it and survived it. And, as Kirk and Mike said earlier, and Steve, we were different than these other bands. Okay. You know, and there's some great bands and, you know, a lot of friends, and we made a lot of great friends, but I just knew that New Haven was different because we had keyboards. We weren't, you know, like all the other bands. And the songwriting to me is what, I just knew when I sat down behind my drums every night, I knew I could count on those guys in front of me night after night, playing, singing, executing moves and choreography. It was the greatest. I had the best seat in the house, and we had a lot of funny moments. Steve's here. Steve, you can tell the story, but I'll kick it off. So go ahead. I mean, we were playing a show with Gazzarri's. I don't think it was your first show, but we were headlining, and it was a Friday, probably a Saturday, because we always like to play. Tell them what
yeah,
happened when
okay.
your rig went
Yeah,
out, and who was
this-
in the audience.
Yeah, right. So I had this thing that was always would happen. Every time Brad Gillis from Night Ranger would come to one of our shows, my rig would break down. I don't know what it was. So, and he was like a big guitar hero of mine. So I really wanted to show him. And we were playing Gazzarri's one night, and we had all of our big backdrops and everything, and we're ready to go. And the curtain was going to drop, and they said, "Please welcome New Haven," and the curtains dropped, and I was starting with "I'm in Love," and I went, and there was nothing.
Silence.
So, and of
Oh,
course,
no.
Brad Gillis is sitting right there, Tommy Lee, and all the couple, people that were with them, from Motley Crue. There's quite a few people there because I think Tommy's little sister was playing with us.
Right, Hardly
Athena.
Dangerous, sure.
Yeah, Hardly Dangerous. And anyway, so we tried it like 4 times,
Yes.
and my rig kept going out because there was voltage surges, and I had this protection thing on my ADA preamp that would shut it down so it wouldn't get burned out. So I remember one of the guys, I think from St. Valentine, the guitar player, he runs up to me and he's like, "Are you playing through this rig?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Same thing happened to me." And so he ran back up stage, came back down with a little amp this
Yeah.
big, a little Marshall practice amp,
Yeah.
literally
wow.
this big. Put it down on the stage,
Yeah.
put a mic up to it, and I played the whole show with through
Yes.
a little.
And Gazzarri's let us play the whole thing. They let us.
Yeah, we played the whole
even
thing,
though-
and
Yeah.
then I remember because Eric Turner and all those guys from Warrant were there,
Oh,
and they were going to come on stage,
yeah.
in our encores. Like they used to come on stage and we'd play like whatever song. And Eric saw what I was playing through, and he's like, "No way, he was not going to get on stage and play through a little amp." Yeah, it's pretty
He's
funny.
smart. God. Yeah, I'm sure. Mike, do you have any anecdotes of any shows? Kirk?
Other than me waving a pole with no flag because I stepped on it coming out was just. And then there was another show we did with it was so slippery because the smoke created a slip, like slipped, fell.
What about the time when
I probably don't even remember that, but.
What about when we were playing at the country club, and you remember you used to put me on your shoulders, and I played
Yeah.
the one time I went to get on your shoulders, we both fell forward.
Oh no.
Remember that?
And then I hung my mic out one
I was
time,
like
and
trying
the
to
mic-
get on, and we just both flopped it right in front of like a packed house. Got right
I
up like
must have
nothing
missed it.
happened.
I don't remember.
We're all
And I hung
good.
my mic out over the crowd one time, and it slipped
Yeah.
out of the mic holder. And then somebody, thank God, they handed it back to me. I remember that.
See, me and Todd were safe from things like that.
Yes.
Those guys were running around at the front of the stage. I was off
Yeah.
to the one side there
Yeah.
behind my keyboards. He was behind his drums, So we kept ourselves safe from all those antics.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
the rest of us up front, we had like the zoomies, like the little dog that runs in the circle when he first gets all excited. I remember
Exactly.
the show would start, and we were just like all over the place,
Yes.
jumping up and down. And
Yeah.
You just
We
keep
put on a
going,
good
though.
show.
People don't even care.
no, they were right there with us.
Nice. So what would you say was your best show?
Hmm.
I'll
That
go
had to be
first.
the country club.
I'll say
Show.
I'll go first. I would say either the Palace when we played the Palace with
Jailhouse?
Jailhouse and Shock,
Yep.
or when we opened for Enough's Enough at the Ventura County Theater. That's mine.
Oh, well.
And of course the Troubadour. Sorry, we love you, Gino.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Go.
I agree with you. I remember when we were up in Ventura, I said, "How's it going, Palace?" I was just talking about the wrong because we just played the Palace, and but we had
Similar.
ended up having this amazing show on both of those actually.
Yeah.
And I remember at the Palace, we were opening up for Jailhouse, or we were dual headlining, and I remember looking out the curtain saying, "There's nobody on. There's nobody here. There's nobody here." And then like literally like 10 minutes later, I come out and look, and the place is just packed all the way to the back.
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Kirk,
Nice.
Mike.
The Palace was definitely one of our biggest shows. I know we were opening for a couple other bands, but some of my best favorite shows were the jams at the Whiskey because I loved, loved the high intensity. We did our vocal warm ups before the show. You know, I'm in love and stuff, and I came out kicking, and that's some of the best times I had doing those Whiskey jams. Were some of my favorite gigs.
Yeah, those were
Right.
fun.
And you only played a few songs, so it was great.
Right.
You know,
Probably was like
you were
3
on and
songs.
off. And you know, I'd have to say I agree with the Palace, and Ventura Theater was great too. You know, and it was something that was out of town, and it was a really big place. I
Mm.
always liked the Country Club when we were there. Uh, you know, that place is one of the biggest places in that area that we played, other than the Palace, of course. Uh, we did the show with those backdrops that we had with the silhouettes
Mhm.
of each member in the band. Do you
Yeah.
remember those, Steve?
Oh yeah.
Oh
You
yeah,
guys? Yeah, I thought that was a great setup. With the backdrops and the New Haven logo, and it just looked great. You know.
and that was filmed. They had 3 cameras shooting that show,
Yes.
and we just don't know where to find it.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
no,
We
Too
could
bad.
only find it.
What about our little tour through the Midwest with Dirty Looks?
Yeah.
The
So
Blood Bowl.
right after we played the Palace, actually, we got on our school bus and we drove to. We were
Nashville.
going to play Nashville, Tennessee, and I think Kentucky. We're all the dates were proposed. Long story short, shit happened. It didn't happen, but we did open for Dirty Looks at Sal's Rock Block in Nashville, Tennessee. I think our bus broke down.
That's what I was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was the last ride of the bus
Right,
there.
and we caused it was on the news because we caused a traffic jam in the
Right.
right.
Yeah, it was like one of the worst traffic jams in a
In
long
Nashville
time at this
history or
place.
something like that,
And
right?
of course, all of us band members, we got off the bus and we could see our hotel from where we were broke down at. So we
Yeah.
all ran up to the hotel and watched it on the news
Right.
while our
Or-
road
or-
crew.
I don't
Who is-
remember that at all.
Scott
And then
and
on
Drew.
that same tour, I remember that bus, the engine compartment,
Yeah.
the hood fell off the front of it, and we
We had
tied
to
it
tie it
back
on with,
on with Rotosound bass strings.
right.
And we did the whole drive with the bus being held together with Rotosound bass strings. And we went to the NAMM show the following year, and we told the Rotosound that story, and they gave us an endorsement on the
Right.
spot.
Oh wow.
Hey, Mike, Steve, probably Kurt. Do you remember we played the Mason Jar in Phoenix and we were driving back, I think, and we were driving down the freeway and see the road crew from like Tough and Paradise, Kenny, and those guys in that band. We pulled over and you guys smoked weed and shit.
Yeah, didn't we
No
flew out
recollection of
there
that
and then
whatsoever.
drove back, didn't we?
Say it again.
We flew out there and then drove back.
No,
Correct?
I don't.
When
We
was
could
that?
have, but I just remember we were driving back to LA
Yeah.
and we were like, oh my God, look at it, it's those idiots.
So many funny stories.
Yeah. A lot of good camaraderie back in the day with some of
Yeah.
those bands. A lot of cool guys.
Yeah, for sure.
And we
Definitely.
weren't
Nobody-
afraid to like play with other bands. You know what I mean? We didn't have egos. We like, hey, you want us to go on before you? We'll do it. And we didn't care, and other bands were like, no, we have to go on at this time. We didn't care, and that
Right.
that was the one thing I always loved about the guys. When we were working on shows, I was like, guys, it's smart if we do this show because of X, Y, and Z. Excuse me, and it worked, and we didn't care. I mean, my philosophy was like the earlier we get off, the You know, with Slim, there won't. You know what I'm talking about. You know,
We play morning shows.
There's a lot
What?
going on backstage.
I wish I wanted to play morning shows like at 2 in the afternoon. We couldn't do it.
you guys did play morning shows outside the apartment.
That's right.
Oh boy,
LA
anyone?
Marathon.
Yes, we did
That was
that.
early.
We did the LA Marathon. We also played the UCLA Mardi Gras. I've got
Mhm.
that flyer. I forget when we played the marathon. That
I
was
don't remember
crazy.
when it was, but it was like
Yeah.
2 in the afternoon or something like
Yeah.
that.
And we
It
played
was-
with God damn, what was her name? Shit, I forget. But Cheryl Konigsberg was the manager of Paradise, and she was managing that other band because she was friends with Jennifer. Anyways,
Yeah.
all right, Santi, get it back on track.
Oh no, 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 that's. I mean, this is great. We on our show, going off on a tangent is like
This
encouraged.
is it because yeah,
Hey,
David, come on, you
Perfect.
speak up. What are you doing? Let's go.
I've listened to all the stories.
All right.
I'm watching the podcast live.
He's a shy guy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm shy, real shy. I can't get a word in because of this guy.
Believe me, they've dealt with it forever. They
Story of
know.
my life.
And he said
You
he was
know
going to
how
be
My
quiet.
life.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, um, Jay, what's your question? What question do you have for
Yeah,
the guys?
dude.
Actually, I did have a question, but I totally forgot what it was.
Oh, come
'Cause
on.
All right, wait. Let me go back. Let me backtrack a little bit. Damn it, I did have a question, and
Okay.
I got lost in that whole
Is it
conversation.
to a band member? Is it
No,
a
no, no,
general
it was
sound
one more
check?
question
First word.
for you guys. I don't know what it was. This guy made me drink too many of these.
They did nothing of the kind.
Who
Uh,
does that?
what would you guys do today if you were presented with a chance to reunite and play some shows? I mean, is that something that you would love to do? Or
I can tell you right now. Yes, I would do that. Yes, I would play the original songs that from the first initial like Rocking Chair, Draw the Line, all those original songs. I'd make that original set list that we had that put us on the map. 10 solid songs, or whatever. Those would be the songs I would definitely choose for sure. And I think I'm not 24 and the lead singer in a rock band anymore. I'm a little older, but I mean, I can still sing. I can still play guitar, but I don't want to play guitar. I want to leave that to Steve or somebody else. I know Mike can play keyboards, Todd can play drums, and I know I could pull it off. I could pull off a set pretty easy, I think. I think I can, because I still play guitar. I mean, I'm not playing in a band, but if I had to choose, I think we could get together and rehearse like, I don't know, 3 or 4 times, and because I know these songs already, I can sing them.
Yeah.
I know them. I wrote half of them, and Mike knows. Everybody knows them. So I wouldn't change a thing. I would just. But I mean, it's not like I'm getting up there with spandex and leg warmers. I'm
I was
talking like
hoping.
jeans. I'm talking
I
like
hope
jeans
not.
and a t-shirt kind of thing, and whatever. I could pull it off. I think it would be a great time. That's my response.
the
Yeah,
rest of you?
I agree.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll make it easier for you. I agree with Kirk. Sticking to those songs would be the best way to go with something like that. And, like he said, we're not spring chickens, but we have all played those songs before. It's the type of music we like to play and that we, do. And for me, some of them would be just a matter of jogging that particular brain cell that hasn't played it in 20 years, And
I'd have to
I
relearn.
remember that part. Yeah. Okay, cool.
I'd have to definitely relearn Draw the Line. A lot of little arpeggios and stuff in that song.
Yeah.
Good. I'd have to do some major programming on the keyboards.
Right.
So it sounds like you guys might all be on board for this.
Could be.
I don't know what I'm
Could
trying to
be.
do here, but
I'm working on it. I'm
Could
working on
be.
it.
I've been trying to talk Todd out of
It's
this.
harder than it looks, but we're working
Yeah.
on it. We're gonna try.
that'll be really cool.
Yep.
That'll be really cool.
We're trying.
Especially for everybody who, these songs are, I mean, they're timeless. They're here.
I
They're,
agree.
We would just play
And-
that CD. Just
Exactly.
play that CD in the order that they're in there. Just play that CD. You know what I mean?
Wow.
That's what we try to do, I think. Well, maybe not the
Yeah.
whole thing, but
Yes, yes, the whole
8 out
thing.
of 10.
Because we're closing with Night Comes Down, that's for sure.
I forgot
Nice.
about that song.
I'm letting the dogs out, just in case you're wondering who let the dogs out.
That means you're really letting dogs
Oh,
out
my
and
God.
not something else.
There,
Look at
evidence
this.
right
Oh,
there.
my
Can you see it?
Jesus Christ.
Then you got that.
Oh God. See,
Look at those guys.
Kirk, I mean, it's like it's supposed to be a all right. They
Okay,
love
so-
seeing Mike Drake. Nobody sees Mike Drake or beloved Steve or Kirk. That's why I'm glad that you guys did this, man. I mean, that we're doing
And
this.
we are glad you
Yeah.
guys did this for the podcast and
Right.
everything. It's awesome. That's awesome to be able to sit down and talk with all you guys. And
It's
to kind
so
of, I guess we're meeting for the first time. This is cool.
yeah, and not the last, hopefully.
No, I hope not. I hope
Yeah.
not.
Well,
And
you know that Todd's moving closer to me. You know that, right? Todd, are you still moving here?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry. I can just see like Melissa Burnett like cracking up, and all the people that know us like Funo and
Yeah.
you know we got they're like poor Kirk.
I
Yep.
went to the most remote spot on the earth in Florida, and you found me.
I did.
You're gonna roll over one morning to give Teresa a smooch, and it's gonna be Todd snuggled up.
Yeah.
hey, Kirk, better you than me, man.
yeah. Well,
You're
and
out of
Kirk,
Ohio. Good.
Kirk's my partner, man. I love that guy. I mean, yeah, I mean it's gonna be a while, but I don't want to give out my personal information. But yeah, dude, you'll be the first to know.
I think you mentioned you're not gonna wear the spandex again. At least tell me you're gonna wear the suspenders.
Oh,
Wow.
Yes.
He's got
I
the
like this. Good shot, actually.
Great thing, Kelly.
Big Al took that picture, man. Remember?
Yeah.
So here,
That was
like,
in Malibu.
yeah, exactly. Because here's an interesting one for you, and I was actually telling David this. After Danny and Ross and us, we parted ways. We knew, you know, that Tim and Robbie were going to be in the band. We didn't have time to take pictures right away, and because we just didn't have time, so we were rehearsing, and then our first show with Tim and Robbie actually, and I just realized this, guys, was Gazzari's Night of the Stars, when we got our star up on the wall at Gazzari's outside. And then because we didn't have pictures, Gazzari's put up the picture of me, you, and Mike, just of like the first time we ever, of the first photo shoot we did. You remember
Yes.
that, Kirk and Mike? It was just us three because they didn't know who. Right, we didn't
We-
have
we-
pictures. Right.
We didn't have pictures with Robbie and
No.
Steve. So it was
And
like,
then
well,
and then we had to get Big
no, Robbie
Al.
and Tim.
We had to get Big Al to take pictures, but we probably had to move him too. Remember how many times we moved Big Al when he'd move? Anyways,
Yeah, those were some good pictures, though. I like, you know, we did good location shots and
yeah,
at the beach, a little bit of this, a little bit
Yeah,
of that.
right. I mean, remember when he did the one? I think we actually used the flyer for a show when we played with Tough in. It's coming up in the sequence with Tim and Robbie. But yeah, he had the girl laying down on the beach. You could, and he took a picture of us. You could
Yes.
see her legs. Yeah, you'll see it. Anyways, Alan English, hell of a photographer. Good man. Good man. Anyways, all right, Santee. What else?
No, yeah, I mean, I just love the album. This is a high quality product as well. I gotta give you props on that.
Great packaging, everything.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
both the CD and the story how it's told on the little booklet, and it's really good. I'm very happy with the results, and it's fun to see. I've heard the songs before on demo versions, right? Like that stuff is floating on the internet for years, but having it and high quality audio. It's amazing. It's like listening to them for the first time, right? Um,
And a
and
lot
yeah,
of those
I
songs you
was
probably
telling
heard.
what, sorry?
And a lot of those songs you've probably heard, like you said, as demo versions. Those are the exact same recordings uh, on that CD.
But
They're
remastered.
basically just remastered and better quality.
Yeah, no, yeah, totally. And I was telling Kirk before you guys joined that as I said, I'm only 30, so I was not around for when you guys were playing. But I remember finding out about you guys on, well, I mean, on the internet, of course. And I remember printing a whole lot of I found like a whole lot of flyers from different bands, right? And I wanted to use them so I could then search for those bands and try to see if I can find the music, right? Because I thought, hey, these guys look cool. I bet their music's cool as well. So and yeah, and then I just pasted all on my wall back when I was a teen, and yeah, so I had like your marks all over my wall back then. And I probably only heard like a few songs, but hey, I thought, hey, these guys look cool. They deserve to be on my poster wall. so, so yeah, it's funny. I don't know where I'm going with that, but yeah, that was fun. And but yeah, so I hope you guys can get work out a few shows. That would be
That'd be
awesome.
awesome.
That'd be
Working on
awesome.
it. Working on
Yeah.
Well, we'll let you know for sure.
it. Of course.
I,
Well,
I'll try
just
out, man. I'll try
Can
out
we
very.
get on the guest list?
Todd,
Yes.
we only have a
Yes.
few.
I
We
actually
only
pass
have a
out.
Just
few.
do a pre-show. I mean, Jesus. All right.
so yeah, I remember my question now. Did you guys plan on doing some videos back then for the songs or?
well,
Mike, do you want to tell them?
Now, what was the question again? Did we
Did you guys
plan
do
on
any
them?
videos?
Back then, if you guys wanted to do videos for the songs like for MTV and stuff.
Not with
Well,
New Haven, no. We didn't do videos for MTV with New Haven. We did do one for Who You Are. It is on our New Haven Rock Band page. It's also on YouTube somewhere. It's called Who You Are, and the label FNA did a couple, for Rocking Chair and Part of Me, and there's some
Mm-hmm.
live stuff that's going to be coming out of us. There's already some stuff, a little bit is leaked out, but there's some more stuff coming. But as
Nice.
far as like a video of New Haven for MTV, negative.
Oh, okay.
we would have liked to done a video for MTV at the time, but we were working with what we had. We knew some cool people that were film students that helped us out doing some videos, and they turned out great, I thought.
Did you guys see the promo teaser I posted yesterday with you guys like on the street like talking to the camera?
oh,
Kirk, Mike, I tagged you
Yeah.
guys in it. Did you see
I
it?
don't know if I saw that.
I did not. I did not.
I know that. Yeah, I mean, it's,
Very good.
I'll
you
look
got
for it.
Todd trying to speak in Japanese,
yeah.
and
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh
Good
yes,
visual on
that video. That video.
on the Sunset Strip.
Konnichiwa.
yeah,
I
I
was
found
always
that.
in a hurry.
That's awesome. Okay, so thank you very much, guys, for taking the time. I mean, yeah, it's been great, and we're kind of running out of time. But I wanted to. We always like to wrap up our episodes. So we like talking about like influences and what would be like your favorite album, top 3 favorite albums, stuff like that. And there's a lot of us here, so I think that may take a lot of time. But maybe we can close with what when you guys were writing, what were your go tos as to for inspiration?
For me,
Uh,
I'm
Personally, for me,
Go ahead.
I was like into Journey, Night Ranger, a lot. You know, Steve mentioned, Night Ranger there. I was in Night Ranger before I moved to Hollywood. I thought their guitar work and their arrangement and their vocals, same with Journey. And that was sort of always my influence when writing,
Hmm.
and,
Nice.
what I'd like to emulate.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Night Rain, amazing bands for sure. Yeah.
Kirk?
Okay. Um,
Todd,
I like,
Steve, Kirk. Okay.
believe it or not, I like. Are you familiar with John Denver?
Nice. Yeah.
He likes like a lot of melodious chord changes. So I love to listen to John Denver, and then I'd switch over to like Judas Priest
Mm-hmm.
and like Saxon.
Okay. Kind of a big change there.
So no, but I wanted to combine like Boston with Judas Priest, with John Denver, with Saxon. That's what I love, the
Nice.
melodic combination. Good songs that meant something, that went somewhere that you could understand, and that's what I enjoy.
Full spectrum.
Yeah, I grew up when I was learning to play guitar as a guitar player. Van Halen was one of my biggest influences, and the progressive side of me was a big fan of Rush. So I learned both of those bands' songs. But then I loved Journey too, and Night Ranger. Toto was really good.
Yeah,
Um,
one of my favorites.
yeah,
Nice. What about you?
You know mine. Kiss, Boston.
Yeah, Beyonce.
Saxon, all that stuff.
Beyonce.
Yeah. Yeah. Celine Dion. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that too.
Taylor Swift.
Nice. Okay. I also want to. Okay. This is new. Dave doesn't know about this, but I want to start a new tradition where we close the episodes with recommendations. Like, if you're listening to something new and you want to talk about it, like, hey, I heard this album yesterday. I want to recommend it to you guys. Do you guys have something like that? Have you been listening to anything that you want to recommend?
That's cool.
As far
I
as
don't
new
know.
stuff,
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be new. I mean, it could be like a Rush album, but it's new to you. That's what I mean.
I haven't listened to anything new in so long. I heard there was some new Metallica out. It's really good.
That's actually pretty good. I jammed to that yesterday morning.
Excellent.
Driving to work. What better way to get energized?
Well,
Too.
I heard a band the other day that was new to me. Um, Turns out they've like been around for like years, but that shows you how far I've been away from the rock and roll scene. But I heard this guy rapping really fast, and I was like, "Who the heck is that?" And it was Falling in Reverse. You ever
Okay.
heard
Oh
heard
yeah.
this
Oh
band?
yeah, I've heard of
Yeah,
that.
I
yeah.
saw them with
I was
P. Roach.
I wouldn't, not that I would recommend them, but I was kind of like,
Huh?
who are these guys?
Okay. Yeah,
Kirk?
I think I've seen them. That I think. Just a second.
I don't know if any of you have ever seen these guys. There's a band that's been around for quite some time now called Pomplamoose. It was started by a guy, San Francisco, Jack Conte, and I believe his now wife, Natalie Dawn. And he gets together every once in a while, every week or two, with a bunch of other guys, and he has this project where they funkify other songs, like
Uh-huh.
old songs, Guns N' Roses songs, Led Zeppelin songs, things like that. It's called Scary Pockets. Look that up on YouTube. I'm really
Cool.
into what they've been doing. It's great.
Awesome. Awesome.
Okay. Kirk, you got
There was a
anybody?
band. There was a band like that called Rock Sugar. They did, like, for example, they mixed "Don't Stop Believing" with "Enter Sandman." So it was like "Don't Stop the
Nice.
Sandman" or something like that, and it's on YouTube and it's amazing. I mean, it's really fun stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people do that where they.
I
Kirk?
got nothing. I got nothing. Although the last couple weeks I have been playing "I Need Your Love," one of Brad Delp's last songs he did with the remix thing, and that's an awesome song. I've been listening to that. It brought tears to my eyes because I hadn't heard him sing in a long time.
Oh
And
yeah.
that was one of his last, major recordings. I Need Your Love. It's a super awesome song. That's it.
Oh, that's a great song from
That is.
'94, right? With
Yeah, it's a
that
long time
Boston
ago. I
album.
know, but I
Yeah.
hadn't heard it in a long time.
Which is that? Is that on the Boston record, Kirk? What is
Yeah,
that?
yeah, it is.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's like their last album or something with Brad Delp. But he's done
I,
some great stuff.
I've got a great story for you, Santee. So, I
Okay.
mean, obviously, you've heard the guys talk about their influences and stuff like that, and it was like Boston and Kirk's love of all the music that I love. So, and we were fans too. Like if we weren't flying the parking lot of the Forum or you know, Pacific Amphitheater or Irvine Meadows, we'd go and watch bands when we could get in. And I remember RTZ was playing the Roxy.
Yeah, I remember
It
that
was
show.
Delp and Goudreau, right?
Mhm.
And I was like, Kirk, we're going. And I
Yeah, that's
swear, we go, I think they let us in, they gave us but I just remember I was like, follow me. And I got right up into the front.
Liza
And
Kozak was
I'm
there too,
buying
right?
like Brad Delp and
Yeah.
Barry Goudreau
He
water and
slapping
beer.
people's hands. Such a super
Yes.
nice guy.
And he's coming over to it. And I have a pick. I mean,
Yeah.
and we got to hang. I mean, it was great. I mean, just watching him sing, man. And
Yeah.
Kirk and I were just blown away.
He was just in tennis shoes and sneakers, not even breaking a sweat, just having
That's
a good
right.
time singing. I was like, that's
Nice.
what I want to be.
Yeah.
like
And it was just, one of those things, we
Yeah.
got to
Mm.
go, we didn't care. Like I go right up in front. I used to stand in front
Yep.
when Warrant played before they got signed, man. I love
Yep.
those guys. Yeah.
Nice.
So there you go. My band that I'm listening to now, and I'll get beat up if I don't do it, but Ego Trip by the Boys and Papa Roach, iHeartRadio's Rock Band of the Year.
Got it.
Nice.
Love those guys, man, and they
Yeah.
love us.
Awesome.
I mean, I got to say this, and then you can conclude, man. We got to thank all the people across America and Europe and Australia, everywhere that has supported this release and appreciates our music. We're humbled that you even care about this stuff after all
Right.
these years. The
Absolutely.
label, FNA, all the people. And there's some guys that have, like, I started, I'm not a big social media guy, but I have to be. I've been thrown in jail a few times for mixing it up with people. Right. Hey, I don't, I defend my boys, but I mean, there were guys on there that were just behind New Haven even before the release came out. I mean, there's a gentleman named Pete Bickle, Wayne Schumacher. I mean, there's a ton, but I just, from my perspective, putting this together and being surrounded by just extremely talented players, Danny, Ross, Robbie, Tim, Glenn, Steve, and by, the troika of power, Kirk and Mike. I mean, it's exceeded my wildest expectations. And, I want to thank each and every one of you people that appreciate this, this guy included. So thank you to everybody. Gina, couldn't have done it without Gina the Troubadour and Jeff Tolley. Of course, our beloved manager, may she rest in peace. If it wasn't for her, this is it. But
Steve Newman.
thank you, everybody.
Awesome. And if you guys ever come to South America, steaks and beer are on me.
Now you're talking about
Sure.
it.
Kirk's like, yes, beer.
Nice.
And if you guys ever come to Ohio, everything's on him.
Yes.
They're not coming to Ohio.
What's in
Yeah.
Ohio, anyways?
The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
Is
man.
that a real place?
Me, I'm in Ohio. Hey.
Come see him.
Do
There
you
you
guys,
go.
Kirk, Mike, Steve, do you guys, I mean, we don't do
No.
this often, so say hi to the
Santi,
people that have been,
Santi,
whatever.
thank you so much for hosting this. Santi, thank you so much for hosting this, man. You did a great job, and I'm glad I got to talk to some old friends. And keep on rocking. And thank you guys so much.
My pleasure, man.
Yeah, same here, and it's great to see y'all again. Steve, Kirk, Todd, love you. David, Santi.
Cheers.
You know,
Cheers.
Thank you.
Steve?
Yeah.
Yep, I agree 100%. All the people that have stuck with us through all the years and they're coming back into the fold now. It's so cool to see all these people that we haven't seen and heard from in decades. And it's been super cool to see my buds up on the screen here. It's the first time in a long time. And thank you for this opportunity, definitely.
No,
Glad we found you.
Two more. April Leaf, thank you for putting up with our nonsense. And
Hey,
Deanna
Michelle
Perez, sorry, we don't know where Glenn is. He was supposed to be here, but and Michelle Siddiqui, thank you, Michelle. We love you.
Yeah,
Michelle
Michelle.
Siddiqua.
Yes.
There you go.
Tireless,
Santee,
Michelle.
my friend. I mean, you did it, man. These are the guys. You know.
yeah. I mean,
these
it's
are
an
the
honor
guys.
to it's an honor that the reunion having an hour show. I mean, it's great, and
You got it. You heard it here first.
we love you guys, and hope to hear more news from the New Haven camp soon. Maybe whenever you guys decide to do those shows, we'll promote them definitely.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everybody.
you, guys.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys. Have a
See
good
ya.
day and keep it
Night.
up.
Now we're gonna get drunk.
Wait, you aren't already?
Ugh.